Hey guys, my name is Lainey and I am on here because I want to talk about something that I have noticed that not very many people talk about, and that is identity theft. I see a lot of people talking about getting their credit card under control, getting their debt under control, but nobody talks about identity theft. And I just want to discuss it because that is something that I'm dealing with. I had my identity stolen in 2018, 2019, and I'm still dealing with it. So I would like to discuss that. So in 2018, 2019, I had my identity stolen. I had my wallet stolen from me at work, and somebody tried using that credit card later that night. And so I believe that it may have been a coworker or a creepy customer who just happened to come back and do it. But it's just been insane. It's been 4 or 5 years since this first happened, and I'm still dealing with it. But when I found out that my identity had been stolen, it was because I was being served papers. I was served papers in November of 2019, and it was for a PayPal credit account in the amount of, I believe, $1,400. So quite a bit of money that had been used in my name, but it wasn't my account. And there was also a PayPal credit card opened in my name for about $1,000 as well on that same account. And I was being served papers because it was in my name. However, it was not my account. And so I had to call PayPal that night whenever I got the papers, and I discussed with them. I was like, hey, I just got these papers. This is not my account. What can I do? So we went on the journey of figuring out how the account was open, where the purchases were made, and all this other stuff. Most of the purchases were made in California, which was a little insane because I live in Oklahoma. And so definitely was not me. They're like, are you sure you haven't been to California lately? And I was like, I live in Oklahoma. The last time I was in California, I was 5 years old, and it was in the airport. That's the only time that I've ever been to California, so it definitely was not me. And so they were able to close both accounts immediately. And so I didn't have to worry about it. They're like, however, we are going to send you a fraud dispute, and you're just going to fill it out. And one thing that we need is a police report. So within a couple days, me and my mom drove to the sheriff department, and I filed a police report. And I gave them the account numbers. I gave them all my information, and it was just kind of insane to be able to do that. But I've never gotten answers from it because, to be honest, they probably never actually investigated it. They just took it down and were like, okay, this girl's had her identity stolen and now it's on record. And that's about it. And so it has been very surreal. And so the crazy part is that when you search on Google what to do when your identity has been stolen, there are no tips. There is no information. Like, I actually just Googled it right before I started recording this video, and the only thing I could find, and it looked like tips, I clicked on the link and it just took me to a website that had 10 different websites where you could lock your credit, which, by the way, if you're going to lock your credit, go directly to one of the 3 major credit reporting sites: Experian, Equifax, or TransUnion. Those are the only 3 you want to do. Do not go through any other sites because it most likely is just a scam. But if you go directly to them, on one of them, I reported on Experian that I had a fraud alert that I needed to put on my account. And so I did that, and they put it on all 3 accounts. So the UPS guy just started singing by my car. But anyways, I put a fraud alert on my Experian account, and the very next day, so today, I got an email from TransUnion and Equifax, who both put a fraud alert on my account in response to that. So when you get your identity stolen, number one, go to your credit reporting site and put a fraud alert. The minimum is 1 year and it's free. You just do it all online. You don't have to send anything in. It's completely online. Now, if you want to do 1.5 to 3 years, you do have to mail in proof. So a copy of your police report, a copy of any documentation that shows that it is not your account, that you're disputing, or anything like that, that will help them determine that yes, you do need a fraud alert on your account. And so you want to do that. Number two, you want to put a freeze on your credit. Now, most credit reporting agencies do require a payment. So Experian is $24.99. I think TransUnion's $34.99, and I don't know what Equifax is. Typically, the first time you put a freeze on your credit, it is free. But now I've surpassed the free trial, I guess, and so now I would have to pay. But instead, I put that fraud alert, which when you put a fraud alert on your account, it notifies any credit card companies or loan companies or anything that you need your credit checked, that they need to double check with you. They need to get in contact with the actual person. They need to verify all of your information. So that is a good security measure. So do the fraud alert. Make sure you get that done, even if you can't do a credit freeze. All right, so do the fraud alert. Next thing you want to do, file a police report. You want to get any and all information that you have, any credit inquiries, any credit card accounts on your credit report that you do not recognize, and you need to take that information and you need to put it in the file. It seems scary at first, but once it's done, you're going to be washed over with the biggest relief of your life. I'm not kidding. I cried when I was done because it felt like I was able to take back some control of my life. Because for the moment that I found it, I started sobbing. I was like, I'm being sued for something I didn't do. And I sobbed. But the moment that I was finished filing that police report, I started crying, but I was happy because it was a step into the right direction of getting my life back. Now it's been 4 or 5 years and I'm still dealing with it though, so it's not completely taking control, but it is a step. All right, so once you get that police report filed, the next thing you're going to want to do, is go on to Identitytheft.gov with the Federal Trade Commission and fill out a report. It's going to notify them, the federal government, that your identity has been stolen, but it's also going to notify any and all credit granting agencies that you have filed for identity theft. And that is also, on top of the credit report, going to let them know that they need to take extra measures in making sure that it is really you who is filing for that credit. So on that Federal Trade Commission Identitytheft.gov, you're going to fill out any credit inquiries you don't recognize. You're going to fill out any credit accounts that you don't recognize. And if you have any details, such as, like me, I had my wallet stolen, and soon after everything started happening, I have that information and the fact that I filed the police report, and so I need to get a copy of that police report, by the way. But that's information that I needed to include, and so make sure you include all of that, and that is going to help you in the long run. Now, sadly, Federal Trade Commission, they do not investigate these identity theft reports because I'm fairly certain there's probably so many that they receive every day that it's just not physically possible to investigate. However, it does put it out there in the federal government that your identity has been stolen. And so, if it comes to it, you can use that report, you can use your police reports, You can use any and all documentation that you have, and you can go to Social Security Administration and you can request a new Social Security number. Now, mind you, this is going to make it a little bit more difficult to get jobs, to get a bank account, to get a loan. It's going to make things a little bit more difficult. However, in the long run, it may help quite a bit because you're going to have a new number that nobody knows except for you and the government. And on top of that, do not carry your Social Security card with you. Do not carry the number anywhere on you. Keep it all up here. All right? Any information that is important to your life that could cause this to happen, keep it in your head or keep it in a safe location at home. Do not carry it on you. I know it's going to seem like you should. Like when I first started my job, when I first started working, it was at Sonic Drive-In. And to drop my money at the end of every shift or to get money out, I had to enter my full Social Security number every single day. So I did carry something on me so that I would remember it, and eventually I had my number memorized, and so I stopped carrying it. However, it was not smart for me to carry it in the first place. It is also not smart for companies such as Sonic or wherever to require you to put your Social Security number in multiple times in a day. That's not smart. That is also going to help cause other people to be able to steal your identity. And so just do not carry it on you except for in your head. All right, so just be extra diligent, be extra smart about it. If you need to carry it on you, be creative about it. Like, write it in a way that nobody's going to guess it. Like, give yourself clues or something. Like, just be smart about it. So, to run through it all, you want to put a credit freeze on your account. You want to do a fraud alert on your account. You want to file within the Federal Trade Commission identity theft report. You want to file a police report. And just make sure you keep all those documents safe. Make copies if you need to. I have digital copies of everything so that if I need to, I can email it really quickly to whatever credit card company or loan company to prove that that is not my account. Now, when I say proof that that's not my account, a lot of people will probably be like, well, just because you have that doesn't mean that is not your account. No, but it is proof that my identity has been stolen and that it is something that I am constantly dealing with. And it gives me like backup to what I'm saying could possibly be true. And 99.99% of the time, it is true. And that 0.01% is because there could be something like I did apply for a Credit One card when I was 16. Like, it could be something like that. So at some point in my life, I could have filed for the credit card and was denied. And then in the future, someone else applied for it in my name and they were approved or whatever. Because the likelihood of me applying for a credit card and giving my exact information with my exact income could determine that I don't have enough income to qualify for a credit card. But there is a chance that someone else could lie and they could say that they make, say, $87,000 a year on their annual gross income, and that helps them get approved. So it's just differing factors like that. And so while I may tell the truth, another person's going to lie, and that's going to help them get the card. And it just really depends on stuff like that. But the police reports, they do help. The identity theft report, it does help. Now, the likelihood that it's actually going to get investigated, it's very slim, because there's going to be so many more things that they're going to deem as more important than one person who had their identity stolen. But in the long run, it does help. So follow those tips and maybe you can avoid what I've been dealing with and you can get your life back under control. Even if you can't, it's going to help. And eventually things will get better. Eventually it will stop. It just has to. But thanks for hanging with me. Thanks for listening. And I will be back with more tips that I learn as I go through my journey. So, bye.